everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California. I'm in long sleeves. We're going to hit down to 2,000 feet snow level in a few days, so we're starting to cool down. And today, I want to talk about growing a garden indoors. But you can use this system I'm going to show you outside too. A lot of you have been asking me about my two system trays that I've been using and showing in some of my videos. And this is what I'm doing. I'm using these containers. And you're thinking, what's the big deal? What's the big deal about using these containers? Well, let me show you real quick. What it is you are going to take one container. It is so much fun. You're going to take one container and you're going to make holes on the bottom. So let's say you've decided you're going to plant in this container. You're going to make holes on the bottom. Now, I use a soldering iron to make my holes. It's just so easy. I don't even want to use a drill anymore. A drill, you got to get the bits out. You got to make sure you're drilling it good. You know, with a soldering iron, and you can pick them up at some of your dollar stores. And if you can't get it at a dollar store, all your hardware stores have it. Walmart's got it, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot. They all have it. Just go to any of your stores. Any type of hardware store, they'll have it. So get a soldering iron, they're cheap. They should be under $10. And you heat it up. It's better if you do it outside. Yes, I'm guilty of doing it sometimes indoors. But do it outside, plug it in, and you know what you can do because this is plastic? You can heat it up in the house, and then you can unplug it, bring your container outside, and it's good for about 5 minutes. So you can go through and you can make the holes on the bottom. Then what you're going to do with this two system is you're going to pick out a container that you're not going to make the holes on. So let's say this one's got holes and this one doesn't. This will be the container that you're going to fill up with potting soil. I just went and got plain old potting soil and I filled it up. And then with that, you plant your seeds in it. Now, if you're doing an indoor garden, I would pick things that might grow inside good. This is Malabar spinach. You could actually grow that like a house plant. So pick out things that will grow inside easily. Walking onions. The Egyptian onions will grow inside easily. But try anything. Try spinach. Try different kales. It doesn't matter. Because even though they won't get to their full potential as if they were planted outside, they will still get to a decent size. And what you're going to do for the winter is you're going to pick these leaves off as they grow and you're going to eat them. So you're kind of treating it like a microgreen. But you're not, because you actually can eat it as long as the plant survives. Too many of us throughout the United States are getting food that's so processed that there's really no nutrients in it. You're missing a lot of enzymes. And so what I'm really trying to push a little bit is to bring it in yourself. So if you're eating fast food or you're eating something that doesn't have a lot, add this to the food. Add it to your sandwich. Add it to a stir fry. Add it to whatever, or just pick it and just eat it. And then you know that you got nutrients, live food that you grew that hasn't been irradiated, it hasn't been no growth inhibitor, nothing's been put on it. Just, boy, that's good. Just plain old good food. Now, if you're lucky enough in the spring, and a lot of these are still alive, you can just take them out with a spoon or a fork and just dig them out and plant them in your garden. So you can do it that way too. But right now, you could have this system to use in the house. Now, the reason I use the two system is, let's say you're in an area and you've got some really good weather for the winter. Surprisingly, you got sun, you got a warm day, 50, 60 degrees. You could take this, put it outside on a deck, patio, garden, on the ground, doesn't matter, and water it. Leave this inside. This is the one with no holes. Leave it inside. And then if the weather turns, it gets cold, you take this in the house. And what you do is, you don't want to bring a drippy, wet plant in your house. So you're going to drop it back in the clean container. And now you can sit this anywhere. This is clean, absolutely clean, the bottom. There's no holes. And even if this is still dripping water, it's not going to get anything dirty. You could sit this on any table. You could sit it on the floor if you don't have dogs or cats that are going to get into it, because I know my dogs would eat this up 1, 2, 3. You can sit it anywhere. You can put it anywhere, put it in a window, put it wherever you want. And just baby it and take care of it a little bit. Just you're going to water it and use this as your indoor garden for the winter. And then, like I said, you could do this in the spring to grow your seedlings as well. Now you don't have to worry about, are you going to get anything dirty? Because this bottom one is always going to be clean. You're going to keep that in a clean area in your house, stack them up, and when you want to bring in, your other plant, then you go ahead and you bring it in. Now, you can use any size. These are big ones. These, let's see if they say a size. These are 15 quart. These are smaller. I actually picked these up at the thrift store, and these are just small ones, and these are made in Canada, and they looked really good, so I bought some of these. You can even use food containers. Look at that. I took an ice cream container, 2 of them, did not make holes in this one. I made holes in this one. Same concept. You can take this outside and leave it out on a deck, a patio, a balcony, anywhere, and let it get sunshine if you've got sunshine. And then as soon as the weather turns, and when I say turn, I'm not talking about rain, I'm talking about really gets cold, then you do the same thing. You drop it in there. And here's one that I've been planting baby walking onions in. Same thing. I planted it, and as soon as the weather started to get cold, I dropped it in here. Walking onions, though, will probably be okay for Southern California outside, but if you're in an area where you're freezing, they'll die back. So you would bring them in, and you would be eating green onions all winter. So you can grow a small little garden in the house, and the size won't matter. So that's basically it. Now, as far as a tip, let me give you a tip, that just my opinion. If you decided that you really like this, and you want to go ahead and plant a whole bunch of these, you don't have to put the seeds in here all the same. You can split it. Let's see real quick. This one that I planted some leeks in, I actually put in some papayas as well. So I have papayas, and I marked it on my stick, so I would know what's coming in here. Gary's been taking the leeks and separating them, and he's going to put them in his garden. This is the wrong way to grow leeks. When he brought me up the leek seeds that he had in his garden, I said, what do you want me to do with them? He goes, well, just grow them. So without thinking, I put it in one of my 2 system containers. I sprinkled them in, and I didn't realize they were all going to grow. You don't need that many seeds. Don't put that many in there. With the Malabar spinach, I actually poked the seeds in, a few here and there, as you can see, and I've got the proper amount now in one container. So don't overdo it. You don't need to overdo it. It's going to grow so fantastic in the house. Try parsley. Try all kinds of stuff. Collard. Grow it in the house. Now, going back to the containers I was talking about. If you want to use muscle memory and you don't want to think about it, go to the store. I got these at the dollar store, but these were $2 because they were bigger. So the dollar store has some things for $2. And try to pick them out the same color if possible. They didn't have a whole lot the same color when I went. So let's say you decided you're going to plant 2 of them. Let's just say you're going to plant 2. If you designate, let's say you're going to go, gee, the bottom one is blue. I'm going to use that to know that this is going to catch the water, and I can put these on the floor and these will stay clean. Okay. Then what you can do is decide that you're going to actually do the planting in this container. This way you know to take these and they all drop in to the same color. It's kind of color scheming is what you're doing. And that's only if you want to do something quick without even thinking. You just, tell the kids, oh, go grab the containers. That's wrong. And you would know that the dark one, let's say, is got the plants with the holes, and the light one that's blue, the light aqua, doesn't have holes. That's up to you. With me, I kind of know. I mean, you're going to know. You're going to look at it. You're going to see. So it's just a thought. That's basically muscle memory, if you wanted to do them all the same. But this has worked out so good that we're going to go ahead and have a lot of these in the house. My Malabar spinach, I should do a video on that, is all dying back now because our weather's getting cold and we're gonna lose it all, I know, at the end of this week. Because that's one thing Malabar spinach doesn't like is the cold. But I'm going to have plenty of Malabar spinach to eat in the house and add in the salads or sandwiches or anything I want, or just pinch it off and eat it. I so feel that a little goes a long way. Basically, it's better than nothing. So with that, I hope I answered any questions. I just think these are great. They're also really good as nurseries. So if you wanted to plant these, you just fill them up with a potting soil. See, this has got holes. And you can start your seeds in here, and you can pinch off the little plants. You could do cuttings as well. If you've got a tomato plant you really like and you want to save it for the winter and it hasn't died back yet, you could do cuttings and plant them this way and keep them in the house all winter. Then come spring, you plant them outside. That's how easy this two-system garden is that I've been doing. And I still like my paper cups. Don't worry, those go straight into the ground. But this is just something you kind of maintain in the house. You can put them anywhere because this stays clean. You can sit this on your carpet. It's not getting wet. It's not, and you would say, well, why don't you just put a tray underneath? Well, sometimes with a shallow tray, if you water it, you don't realize you overwatered, it will fill the tray up and it will overflow. This isn't going to overflow. And this just works really, really good. I found that, to me, it's the easiest thing, and that's why I like it. So if you've got any questions, go ahead and ask. I try to get to them. I've got thousands of questions, or I'll do a Q&A on it. But that's all you need to know on these. These are BPA free. So it's a good plastic. It's made basically for food. If you use a food container, you know their food. I would not get anything that has an insignia on it saying that it's toxic. Stay away from those. And again, the numbers, generally the numbers are 2. You never use a 3, a 4, or 5. Most of them I have found with the food containers, your ice cream, your cottage cheese containers, they tend to be a 5. Those are safe. So I think with that, I've answered all your questions. These make great gifts too. So if you know somebody that loves gardening and they're not gardening right now, they're under snow, make one for them. Put a couple different plants in it and present it to them, and they can keep it all winter in the house. And when spring comes and the weather warms up, they can start moving their plants outside or start a new one if they've ate it all. And then they can start planting seeds for their garden. I hope it gave you some ideas. Don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Really good.